If you've ever wished your child would enjoy writing even half as much as they enjoy video games, this video is for you. Today I'm reviewing an online language arts curriculum that honestly surprised me, especially because I usually side-eye edutainment apps. It's called Night Zookeeper. If you're raising a creative kid who hates language arts or a reluctant writer who freezes at the word paragraph, this one is worth your time. Let me show you why. For those who don't know me, I'm Laura from monkeymom.com. I've been homeschooling my gifted, twice exceptional only child for the past 10 years. On my blog, I share curriculum reviews, create resources, and probably most importantly, encourage homeschool moms to choose what actually works for their kids, not just what looks perfect on paper. Before the walkthrough, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What do you do when your child hates language arts? Maybe they came from a school system that made it feel like a chore, or maybe they're just wired differently. Some kids are gifted in STEM, like Mark, and language arts is simply their weak spot. Either way, pushing harder almost always backfires. What finally clicked for me was realizing that sometimes it's not what you're teaching, it's how. Some kids just need a different way in. When I stopped trying to fit Mark into the curriculum and started shaping the curriculum around him, things got better. He's in 9th grade now, definitely older than Night Zookeeper's main audience, but he still genuinely enjoyed it, and that told me a lot about how well this program could work for younger kids, especially the ones who've started to see language arts as torture. So stay with me as we look inside. I'll show you what it's like from both the parent and the student sides, what works, and how this could be the spark your child needs to start enjoying language arts again. And as always, there's a full blog post link in the description with my complete review and a 50% off discount code, so make sure to check that out. So what is Night Zookeeper? It's an online story-driven language arts curriculum for elementary-aged kids that blends creative writing, reading, grammar, spelling, and vocabulary inside the magical Night Zoo. Kids create their own animals, unlock new areas, and work through writing prompts and mini-games that actually teach mechanics like opinion writing, transition words, adjectives, punctuation, and more. It looks playful, but the games are built around the curriculum, not the other way around. On the parent side, you get a simple dashboard to check progress, adjust grade level, and set time limits if screen time is a concern. Kids then submit their writing to Night Zookeeper tutors for short, encouraging feedback. The sweet spot is definitely ages 6 through 12 or grades 1 through 6, but even older kids who've lost confidence in writing can use it to ease back into language arts. The program is web-based, and Quests is now available on all devices, accessible through the web on computers and tablets, and via the dedicated app on iOS devices. Alright, so let's take a look inside Night Zookeeper so you can see how it's actually set up. This is the parent dashboard, the main hub where you manage everything. You can track your child's progress, see what lessons or challenges they've completed, and even monitor how many words they've written overall. It also lets you adjust grade levels, set time limits, and toggle features on or off like the community or games if you want to keep things focused on writing or lessons only. One thing I really love is how customizable it is. For example, you can even control spell check mode, turn it off completely, keep it light, or highlight everything depending on what your child needs most. Now let's talk about the signing lessons, which is something you might miss because it's hidden in the menu. If you click the sandwich menu in the top right corner, then go to assignments, you can send a writing prompt or lesson directly to your child. You can preview each one, pick a subject like writing, reading comprehension, vocabulary, or punctuation, filter by age, and then assign it. It will appear right in your child's For You section the next time they log in. Overall, the dashboard makes it really easy to see both the big picture and the small details, perfect if you like to stay on top of progress without micromanaging. You'll also find options for advanced tutoring available as an add-on if you want more in-depth help with writing. Tutors leave detailed comments and encouragement, which is great for kids who need a little more structure or motivation. They even include free monthly printable worksheets, and they're actually really fun. This month's theme is Halloween in the Zoo, where kids can write spooky stories and design their own scary animals. If you want to go further, Night Zookeeper also offers books and activity packs that you can buy separately. These include themed writing prompts, grammar practice, and creative skill packs that focus on specific areas like adjectives, adverbs, or describing characters. Now let's switch over to the kids dashboard so you can see what your child will experience inside Night Zookeeper. It's colorful, story-driven, and designed to feel like a game, but everything they do connects back to real reading and writing skills, and it's all coming down to 3 main steps: create, learn, share. Step 1 is create and explore. The first thing kids do is create their own animal, which becomes the heart of their night zoo. They can draw it or use stickers, give it a name, and write a short report about it, describing where it lives, what it does, and what makes it unique. That writing is sent to tutors for feedback, so they're already practicing descriptive writing without realizing it. From there, kids explore a map and start unlocking new areas. Every completed challenge or story powers up their flashlight. Once it's full, they can open new parts of the zoo. Step 2 is learn through play. Here's where the real learning happens. Kids can pick from a variety of activities depending on what they're in the mood for. Lessons are short themed tutorials or animations that teach writing types like persuasive or creative writing, followed by a writing prompt. The writing prompts are guided or free write spaces where they use their animals or imagination to tell stories. There are also challenges, which are quick tasks to build grammar, punctuation, vocabulary, and spelling through interactive quizzes and short writing exercises. And finally, games, which are fun, skill-based games that reinforce what they're learning, from spelling and sentence building to vocabulary practice. I'm just showing a few examples of what Mark worked on here, but there are many more options your child can explore, and the program expands as your child progresses. And finally, step 3, share, reflect, and stay motivated. Night Zookeeper also gives kids gentle ways to share and celebrate their progress. Inside sections like My Stuff, they can see all their completed work, tutor feedback, and awards, making it like a mini writing portfolio. They can also join projects, participate in star writing challenges, read other kids' stories in the community, and leave kind comments, which are all fully moderated. Messages from tutors or the system pop up here too, so kids always know when they're earned new feedback or achievements. And for those who like a little friendly competition, there's even a monthly leaderboard that rewards consistency and effort, not just scores. Overall, the kids dashboard blends structure with creativity. There's enough freedom to explore, but everything they touch, from stories to games, helps build language skills in a way that feels more like play than schoolwork. Now that you've seen what's inside, let's talk about what really stood out to me and why I think Night Zookeeper could be such a game changer for creative but reluctant writers. Before I get into it though, a quick note in case you skipped it. Mark is 14 now and well past the intended age range for this program, which is roughly between 6 to 12. So this isn't something we use as part of his high school curriculum, but I wanted to try it anyway to see how it actually works in practice, because it's a program I kept seeing around for years, and honestly, seeing it through his eyes helped me understand exactly why this would have been perfect for him a few years ago, and why I think it could be a great foundation for younger kids before they move into a more traditional language arts program later on. First, the creativity. This is what hooked Mark immediately, even though he's older. He spent almost an hour that first day designing his animal, naming it, describing where it lived, and giving it the most ridiculous powers imaginable. That part alone set the tone. It wasn't school, It was his world. He could create, imagine, and play, and secretly he was writing the whole time. That's exactly what reluctant writers need. If you have a child who's always inventing stories, characters, or fantasy worlds, but resists writing them down, this kind of setup gives them a safe way in. It bridges that gap between imagination and actual language skills. Second, the balance between fun and real learning. I've seen a lot of educational programs that try too hard to be entertaining and lose the learning along the way. Night Zookeeper isn't one of them. The fun here is structured around real lessons, which are all embedded naturally into the story and games. Mark loved the minigames the most. They're quick, satisfying, and surprisingly effective. Third, the independence it builds. What stood out to me as a parent was how naturally independent the system is. Kids move through short videos, writing prompts, and challenges without needing constant supervision. They're guided step by step, but it still feels open-ended and creative. For homeschool parents, that's a big plus. You can check the parent dashboard anytime to see their stories, progress, and tutor feedback, but you don't have to hover over every task. Fourth, the tutor feedback. This is one of my favorite parts. Each story kids submit is reviewed by real tutors who give short, encouraging feedback like try adding more detail here or great use of adjectives. Mark actually went back and revised his stories just to see what the tutor would say next. For a kid who used to hate rewriting anything, that says a lot. Fifth, the hidden teaching moments. The program hides real lessons in all the right places. Kids naturally pick up on things like adjectives, transition words, opinion writing, and punctuation because they're using them in context, not memorizing rules. It's clever and it works. And I love how the story-based setup shows them why writing matters. And sixth, the shift in mindset. Even though Mark's too old for the program now, watching how he engaged with it reminded me how powerful a positive learning experience can be. Language arts used to be our hardest subject with years of frustration and resistance, but something like this could have softened that whole process when he was younger. Night Zookeeper creates that safe, low-pressure space for kids to reconnect with writing, to see it as something expressive and fun instead of intimidating. So these are all the reasons why I can easily see it being a wonderful bridge for elementary or early middle school, especially for kids who are creative, reluctant, or just need a gentler, story-driven entry into language arts. So who is Night Zookeeper actually best for? This program really shines for elementary and early middle school kids, especially those who are creative but struggle with traditional writing or grammar workbooks. It's ideal for kids who learn best through play, storytelling, and visuals rather than through rigid structure. It's also great for reluctant writers, the ones who love coming up with ideas but freeze the moment they have to write a paragraph. Night Zookeeper takes that pressure away through games and gentle prompting. You don't have to write the full story at once. There's a slow build-up of writing a sentence, then two, and so on. The creative world, the animal characters, and the short bursts of writing help them ease into the process without even realizing they're doing language arts. It can also work beautifully for kids coming from a negative school experience. Maybe they've lost confidence or they've started associating writing with stress or failure. Night Zookeeper gives them a safe space to rebuild that confidence one story or game at a time. If your child finds language arts a chore or flat out torture, this is a gentle way back in. This is a neutral, ad-free platform, so it fits into any homeschool philosophy. That said, it's probably not for families looking for a paper-based, super structured, or parent-directed curriculum. If I had to sum it up, I'd say Night Zookeeper feels that middle ground between what we wish learning looked like and what actually works for our kids in real life. It's not a traditional language arts curriculum, and it doesn't need to be. What it does really well is get kids writing again. It reminds them that writing isn't just about grammar or essays, it's about ideas, imagination, and communication. And honestly, for kids who've burned out or shut down when it comes to language arts, that reconnection is everything. Once they stop stop dreading the subject, everything else becomes easier to build on later. So if your child is struggling, resistant, or just needs a fresh start, Night Zookeeper can be that gentle reset button. So if you want to check it out, I'll link the full blog post below. That's where you'll find my in-depth review and all the details on what kids learn, and a 50% discount link you can use anytime. That's it for today's video. I hope this gave you a clearer look at how Night Zookeeper works and whether it might be the right fit for your family. If you've used it before, I'd love to hear your experience in the comments. Did your kids enjoy it, or did it surprise you too? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more honest homeschool reviews, and check the description for my full written review. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.